Hello, welcome to another episode of Ross on Cars. I'm Ross Furlong and this is my very first road trip video. So some of you might recognise my Tesla Model S 75D. I bought it 10 months ago. It cost me 54 grand. It's now worth about 20 grand less than that. But apart from the depreciation, it has been brilliant, I have to say. So if you're thinking of, dipping your toe in the water of EVs, you can pick one of these up now for about 35k, approved from Tesla with a year's long warranty. And apart from the financy bit, I really can't fault it. Thoroughly recommend it. There is one odd thing happening just right now. It's a small thing, but significant, is that this magnetic UK sticker does not stick on. What's up with that? I mean, it's, the car's obviously metal, but does it have some sort of plastic paint on it? It sticks on my 964 Porsche fine. So anyway, it's an easy thing to remedy. At the channel tomorrow morning, we'll get a sticky one, I suppose. Yeah, the road trip, right? So taking the whole family, going all the way to Nice, 800 miles from Biddenden in Kent, where we are. And this car, apart from the Supercharger setup, which is unknown at this point, I think it's going to be fine, is perfectly set up, and I'll tell you why. And forgive me if I go into a bit of sort of an old school William Woolard Top Gear 70s thing here, but luggage space. People don't talk about luggage space in the Model S very often. It's a bit boring, I suppose. But when you're doing a road trip, we're talking about 745 litres, which is more than a 5 Series Touring or an E-Class Mercedes estate. It's massive. I've got two very large suitcases in there, the biggest ones that we travel with, and there's plenty of room for maybe 2 or 3 more small ones, squashy bags. And that's not all, because at the front there's a bin with another 150 litres of space in it. So, really, this is an estate car masquerading as a saloon car. It's perfect. Lots of space for the kids in the back, lots of leg room, quiet, fast, smooth. The only thing is, will I run out of juice? Well, Tesla, when you plug it into the map on the 17-inch console, it actually shows you the route, and it shows you the superchargers you need to stop at. So we've got one overnight stopping in Dijon, and I figure we're probably going to need a couple of stops, because although the range is meant to be about 245 miles on this, at least that's the spec, I'm not getting anything like that. I went to see my dad in Horsham last week, and that's about 100 miles there and back. I think I did the whole battery pretty much apart from 12% in that 100 miles. So I figure maybe if I drive it carefully, then 150 miles maybe, but we'll see. It's a good opportunity on these long road trips to work out how far I can go, what the supercharger network is. Am I going to get range anxiety? I've still got a little bit of that left. I've never done a really long trip in this car. I've only done sort of short ones, and also be able to work out what the comparative cost is if you were to take a petrol car or diesel over the same journey. So yeah, so tomorrow morning, 4:30, we'll be up and out, and I'll keep you posted on how we're getting on. So I'm just here in Folkestone. It's just after 5:30, and I didn't really think I would do a charge here, but I've gone from 99% to 82%, so I thought I might as well just charge up here. Really easy. And there's 5 or 6 chargers here. There's only one other person on it, so yeah, that's worked out really well. So I'll be at 99% fairly soon, and let's see how far we get in France. Right, so at the first stop, we're at St Quentin. We're about 110 miles from Calais, and we estimate we've used about 67% of the battery to get here, so extrapolate that out. I think that's about 164 miles on a full charge. I mean, I'm not going slowly. I'm not trying to do the sort of optimal, speed to maximise the miles, but my guess of about 150, 160 miles on a full charge seems about right at the moment. Interesting here, they've got 20 bays for Teslas, and there's one Tesla in there, mine, and there's also an i3. So I didn't realise. Must have opened this out to other types of cars. I'm sure people know more about this than I do, but I did hear that was going to happen. But it's the first time I've seen anything other than a Tesla in a charging bay. So yeah, but it's okay. I mean, it's taken us a couple of hours to get here. It's not a bad time to stop and get a coffee and a baguette, croissant or something. And yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So so far so good. I'm going to work out how much this is costing per mile and report back probably the next stop. So just at our second stop here in Rem, this Tesla charging unit is a bit busier than the last one. We're only about 63 miles down the road from the last one, but the computer's telling us that we need to stop here in order to make the next Supercharger station, and then we can get to Dijon from there. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-stop strategy today. We've got I think 12.5 pence per mile so far, which compares very favourably actually with a petrol or diesel car, so we're doing quite well on that front. And the stops aren't so bad, they're about half an hour. We've got a McDonald's over the road here and it's lunchtime, so the kids will be happy, and then we'll roll on. Right, so here we are at the last charging point on our trip today. This is a place called Chateau Villain. It's a really big service station. It's got lots of electric charging points, not just Tesla ones. It took us just under 2 hours to get here. Did the most of the battery in that, so I guess you'd expect to stop at least every 2 hours on a trip like this. This particular charging point doesn't require the adapter that we've been using on the other two, so just something to say that it's the CCS adapter you need for this type of trip. We've got another hour or so to go to Dijon, and after 8 hours on the road, I'm really looking forward to getting to that hotel. So, see you in Dijon. So just arrived at Hotel La Cloche in Dijon, and I remember this. It's been a long time since I've been here, but I remember they've got an underground car park, which is very handy, and these days they've got lots of electric charging spots in it, so dead easy, turn up, they park it for you, and it's charged overnight, so brilliant. So what have we got? We've had we started at 6, we got here at 5 UK time, 6 French time. So we're looking at about 11 hours, I suppose, with 3 stops, probably about 2 hours worth of stops at least. So what's that? It's been about a 9-hour journey, something like that. But it's been okay. It's been long, but we've broken the back to Nice, where we're going tomorrow. And now I'm off for a nice dinner with the family. So all good. See you tomorrow. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our road trip to Nice. This is the first charging point after the hotel. The hotel charged up nicely to 99% this morning, so we left about 2 hours ago. This is the first stop that the computer told us to stop at. It's at a nice hotel just north of Lyon, and so quite a good move by the hotel. They have charging spots for the residents and they have charging spots for people like us just coming in off the motorway, so I'm sure they get a fair amount of custom, and we've got some cups of tea and biscuits and stuff from them. We've been listening to some podcasts. One thing about this car is it's got the sound pack in it, and also it's lovely and quiet, so I've been listening to Seen Through Glass, and my wife's been listening to Horse and Hound podcast. We're not getting a lot of mileage, I guess. That's the only probably downside of this road trip. I mean, we're doing about 150, 160 miles. I did have my name down for the new Model S actually, which is meant to be more like 300 realistically. But of course there was that announcement about them telling them to left-hand drive a couple of months ago, and well, I imagine their order book fell through the floor at that point, because nobody in the UK really wants a left-hand drive Tesla. So Anyway, I'm just being whacked by my 4-year-old, so I think it's maybe time to go. And yeah, see you at the next spot. Right, so I'm in quite a busy Tesla park, just north of Montelimar. This is in the grounds of an Ibis hotel, and there's tons of Teslas around. What else to say? Running out of things to say about Tesla charging points, only that they've been really easy to find and really easy to charge. Haven't had to wait at all. I wish the car could go a bit further, but you know, on a trip like this, stopping every 2 hours is okay. You've got to stop for lunch anyway, stop for a snack, stop for the loo and all this stuff, so it's all right, it's okay. So we'll push on now to Aix-en-Provence. That's our last stop before the hotel, and yeah, we'll roll on. Hello from Aix-en-Provence, our final Supercharger stop. It's a small one. There's only 4 bays here. We managed to sneak in. It's not very busy. It's in around the back of a Novotel, but we've got about an hour and a half to Nice from here, where we can wrap it up. So yeah, probably had enough Supercharger videos for a while. I think I have, but I'll see you in a bit. We made it. So I'm here in the hotel car park in Nice, and 800 miles, 6 charger stops, 1 overnight, and we're here. There's a few other English cars in this hotel car park I've noticed, but no other electric ones, lots of French electric cars. So, you know, maybe we're a bit unique in doing this type of trip in an electric car, I don't know, let me know. So yeah, any range anxiety we might have had about a trip like this, yeah, it's been no problem at all. So yeah, very doable. Stopping every 2 hours, it's probably a good idea to do that really, just from a safety point of view, but we probably felt we'd like to go a bit further. So maybe every sort of stop every 3 hours, 4 hours maybe, something like that, which you can do in the newer cars, but not obviously in this one. So that's something to bear in mind. But ultimately, I think we'd probably fly next time. It's like a 3-hour flight to Nice, and then an hour up the motorway, so it's so much easier. But that, you know, can't take away from the joy of a road trip. Can't beat that. And so if you like the video, please press like below and subscribe, because I've got a few different cars coming up. I've got the polar opposite of this Tesla coming up, which is an Ariel Atom Series 4. I don't know much about those, but I hear they're incredibly fast, so that's going to be very interesting. And I've got a few more supercars coming up. So yeah, hope to see you for the next one.